Welcome to Advocation X, episode number 43. Time for a newsworthy Bernie Sanders broadcast. A special thanks and hello from me, Clyde, and the crew to all of you beautiful people out there. Before we continue, please help further our cause by hitting the like button and subscribing for future content. Become a member and crush that bell while you're at it so you miss nothing. We have a huge disclaimer. Ours is an opinion channel, but is based on facts and not the alternative type either. Questions will be answered if you're a subscribed member of this channel. However, suggestions are more than welcome, including critical analysis. So, topics to tackle here and now. Bernie's agenda lives. What tanked his run? Pressure coming to bear. Will Dems vote? Voting as a tool. Possible vote, final endorsement. Okay, so let me unpack this for you right now. Some pundits and news anchors are basically calling Bernie's campaign a failure. Many of us know much better and see his candidacy as a huge success. He almost single-handedly, with an army of supporters behind him, has changed the entire discourse. Almost every other candidate, including Donald Trump, were touting his policies in one way or another. In my mind's mind, I believe that those candidates adopting his platform was actually a ploy to split his votes and then to coalesce behind Joe Biden. Either way, the discourse is changed forever. The people's aspirations have been elevated beyond any place that they were before this began. So, what was the main reason why his candidacy failed? If you look back at every single debate or interview that had anything to do with Bernie Sanders, they were pushing a specific narrative against him the entire way. They received large amounts of pressure to cover Bernie Sanders, and still the numbers show Bernie was the least covered candidate, even though he had been the front runner for a good portion of the race. He was consistently trashed by the mainstream media and their guests, even though he's done nothing wrong. He has been a consistent fighter for the people, and in particular, the little people. Yet even many of the little people turned against him based on the propaganda they were hearing. Bernie's only mistake is that he is way too honest. He should have reshaped that phrase, democratic socialism, and he should have explained it much more often and in deeper depth. His honesty is repeating a similar statement to Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, which also got him into hot water, which it never should have. The power of propaganda is much more than many anticipated. If you look at any leader in the world, good or bad, could they have done some good things? Regardless of how horrible they were in other things? Are we seriously going to look at his statement and say, my gosh, that is a cardinal sin? He's in love with that guy. No, he never expressed himself in that way. Never. If you look at these tapes and quotes of him over and over again, you'd have to say to yourself, oh my gosh, that was dumb for me to even consider what he had said. But it is a buzzword for those who are above a certain age, because they were alive during the time when they were hiding under tables and worried about a nuclear holocaust that was imminent based on the relations between Russia and the United States. So, I digress. Let's move on. Now, there is much pressure that will be coming from many fronts towards the Joe Biden campaign. If he makes it through the convention, that is. Already, organizers are banding together and have released letters notifying the Biden camp that they will have expectations if he wants their vote and support. Oddly enough, many progressives are still willing to back the Democratic candidate, but only if he adopts some key proposals. So, will the Democratic base actually turn out to vote? Based on the current numbers, Joe Biden is below Hillary Clinton's numbers when it comes to enthusiasm for the candidate. He's actually trailing Donald Trump in enthusiasm from his own voters. Republicans are projecting much more enthusiasm for their candidate over the Democrats for Joe Biden. Will they even leave their house to vote? So, voting as a tool, we're moving on, is a powerful weapon inasmuch as it can shape policy or remove unwanted politicians from the running. It can be used to send a huge signal, which is not very desired by any party. They'd all be, please, no signals, just support. It can also be used to encourage candidates to move forward with confidence. Joe Biden should be in fear. The Democratic establishment should be living in fear right now. This is not good news. So, some polls are showing that 25% of the progressive vote may not even come out, considering Joe Biden is the nominee. Another 25% are leaning towards voting for somebody other than the incumbent president, of course, or even Vice President Joe Biden. 25% of the vote could go elsewhere. You tell me what that's going to mean. Like, honestly, where does that leave us? That leaves us, it seems, with only 50% of the identified progressives that are totally willing to come out and support the Democratic nominee no matter who it is. And I'll guarantee you that is totally attributed to Bernie Sanders' plea and constant refrain that he will support the Democratic nominee no matter who it is, because it is more important to him to beat Donald Trump than it is to be that candidate to do it. So, Joe Biden has a huge job ahead of him to convince many more progressives to come on board with him to have any chance of winning the presidency in November. So, let's move on. Who in the world could have seen this coming? I guess I did. And every other progressive person in the world. Joe Biden has his final sealed endorsement. It was that endorsement Democratic candidates look for to close the deal. That one endorsement that ensures their success among the Democratic establishment. The only endorsement that says you have actually arrived as an establishment favorite, as establishment figures go. That's right, you beautiful thinking people, you. President Barack Obama has finally endorsed Joe Biden to clinch the deal as the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. I would imagine that a lot of polling went into that decision. Let's just see how it pans out. I have a sincere and heartfelt good luck to all my friends and family south of our Canadian border, and I include all citizens of the United States in that plea. So please leave your respectful comments in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for growing content. Become a member. Crush that bell while you're at it so you miss nothing. And once again, good folks, I must say, never give up and never give in. And remember, keep an open mind because knowledge is power. So do your research and be powerful. Until next time, thank you for spending time with us here on this channel. Please stay safe and healthy while doing your best to remain as happy as humanly possible. Till next time.